The euro made a new low today. I think they said it was a 20-month low or something like that, or 1-year low. So you can see the euro touched down to around 1.22 or so. And of course, the dollar came up to decent high intermediate term of about 83.4. That's rivaling what we had back in the beginning of June. So I wanted to start off by talking about the dollar because there's a lot of talk about the strength of the dollar, especially in terms of the euro weakening and a lot of the things going on in the world and uncertainty, which has gone into strengthening the dollar, whether that's just a rush towards cash or treasuries or a rush out of other currencies. Whatever that is, it's showing some strength in the dollar, and that's what I wanted to discuss. So I want to take you out to a long, well, the longest term chart we have here on Netdania, and take you out to the longest term chart here and see that we're roughly at about 83, we'll just call it 83 or so on the dollar. And as you know, the dollar is a basket of currencies. And so the euro came in the early 2000, 2001 in this area. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, 2002. So obviously the prices before that are going to be adjusted for the existing currencies that were there, but were merged into the euro. So currencies like the French franc, the Deutschmark, and those were merged into that currency. But these charts average it out. So if you look at the US dollar, you can see here we're about 83.4. And coincidentally, if we go all the way back to 1995, we're just going to pick that point because that's the beginning of the chart. We were at 83.4 in 1995. So you could say that because a lot of people are talking about how the dollar's gaining, or you put your money in cash or whatever. You could say that basically the dollar is unchanged. It hasn't lost anything since 1995. So for sake of comparison, I just wanted to show you some prices from 1995. And there's a number of things you can go to. This is a site called The People History, and this is the cost of living in 1995. So this is what things cost in 1995. You can see the Dow was at 5,000, about half of what it is. The interest rate was 8.5%. Now the cost of a new house was 113,000. I'm not sure what it is today. Quite a bit higher than that. Average income per year 34,000. Quite a bit higher than that. Average monthly rent, we're probably nearly double that. Cost of the gallon of gas, were triple that. Postage stamp, more than 50%. New car, more than 100% higher than that. Loaf of bread and coffee, I think those are dozen eggs, up a little bit, but not like these others. So when we look at those prices, some of them doubled, some of them tripled since 1995. And we go back to our chart of the dollar and see that it's the same there. That's going to make us wonder, how is that possible? If the dollar index is a measure of the worth of the dollar, and it has not changed, it has not declined since 1995, how is it possible that the prices of some of those things have doubled and tripled since that time? Well, that just goes to show you that you cannot rely on this index. That this index, as well as the other currency indexes, are free-floating currency exchange rates. So this is the dollar simply measured in other currencies. This is not the dollar measured in tangible assets. It's a dollar measured against other currencies that are also losing value. So if the dollar has lost, and if you go by those prices, it's lost anywhere from a half to 2/3 of its value since this time. But if you measure it against other currencies, it hasn't lost any value. So that is an example of how reliance upon the dollar index is completely deceptive, because all of the currencies that are in the basket that are used to make up this dollar index, and I think the euro is the most heavily weighted, they are also losing value. So the mirror image of this, of course, would be the gold chart over the same period of time. Now we can see that if we look at the gold chart, we can choose other currencies, and we can do gold in euros over that same period of time. And we've got a little bit of a lag here. We'll try to do another currency. We'll do gold in the Swiss franc, for example. Okay, there's our gold in the euro. Same sort of pattern. Gold spot in the Swiss franc, and same sort of pattern. So it's very deceptive to take these currency charts, like the dollar index, and use that as a measurement of the value of the dollar over this period of time, because it's not. This is the dollar declining in value, but the other worthless currencies that it's being measured in are declining as well. So when they all seem to be maintaining value, the truth is that they're all losing their value. And obviously things like silver and gold are things that are gaining value against all the currencies. Now I wanted to take you over to an article someone sent me, and the recent Mannarino video we feature on the blog. And if you haven't seen Gregory Mannarino, I'll link a video so you can see him. He's on our blog every day, and he puts out about a video a day. But in today's video, he was talking about silver being one of the rarest metals as far as what's left to be mined. In other words, what we're going to run out of first. And there's a lot of numbers that people have put out about that, how much is left below ground, how much is above ground. And I've made this point a number of times, but I just want to make the point so that people understand it and make clear what I'm trying to explain here. But let's start with this law of there's the laws of first, second, third laws of thermodynamics, but this is a law of the conservation of mass, or also be stated the law of conservation of matter and energy. Basically, the law states, and of course that's in an isolated system, but the law of the conservation of mass, also known as the principle of matter conservation, states that mass in an isolated system close to all matter and energy will remain constant over time. This principle is equivalent to the conservation of energy in the sense when energy or mass is enclosed in a system and none is allowed out, its quantity cannot otherwise